You're listening to 91 Reasons, a journey into the twisted landscape of pop culture. Keep your hands and arms inside the podcast at all times. And now, the voice, Jeff Tucker.
Hey everybody, it's 91 Reasons. This is the voice. I am Jeff Tucker. Hey, thanks for your patience in this weird, this has been such a weird period with getting the flu. Like, the flu really, like, you watch the news and the flus, they scare you that you're going to die. And then you get the flu and you're like, this is it. I should probably prepare put my affairs in order because I am gone. And, when I had the flu, every night when I would finally, give up and go to bed, and I was in bed all day, but I'd get up occasionally because you're like, look, you play this game. If I pretend to be well, maybe I will be well. So you get up and you try to eat and you try to be completely normal, ignoring the monkey on your back, and then it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It smacks you around. And every night when I would finally announce, like, this is it, I'm going to bed. Now, going to bed doesn't mean I am conked out until morning and we'll see how it goes. Going to bed just means I'm making the first effort to put myself in a bed, knowing that I'm going to get up probably 15 times in the night because I'm drinking lots of fluids and those have to go through you, and I'm coughing and just general achiness. I was talking to a friend at work yesterday who had the same exact thing I had, and we were both commiserating, like, yeah, that's exactly how it felt. Like, you just want to die. And every night when I would go to bed, Rachel would look at me and, like, I could tell, like, she thought, this is it. He's gonna die, and in the morning there will be a corpse in bed. And I would assure her, like I'm not gonna die. The news has everybody terrified that the minute you start coughing, you're a goner. And that's a scary thing. So I ended up actually going to the doctor. And normally when I go to the doctor, during the middle of the day, there's nobody there. But this time, it was mobbed. And there were people everywhere. And I asked the doctor what was going on, and he says, well, it's the news. The news has everybody running for their lives for some magic cure. And here's the thing. There's no cure for the flu. They can make you feel more comfortable, but there's no cure for it. You have to ride it out. You have to fight it. So all they do at the doctor's office is charge you for a copay and then give you some prescriptions that make you feel like this will work. And I remember, like, having an out-of-body experience while I was paying for the medicine. And I remember, like, thinking, like I was my own angel on my shoulder going, you don't need that. That's a waste of money. You're not even going to use that. Why are you buying that? And why did I buy some of it? Well, the doctor says to buy it, but I'm not going to use it. He gave me this thing where you shove it up your nose and you breathe it. You breathe in at the same time that you pump it, and it's supposed to clear out your nose. It doesn't work. I end up shooting liquid in my nose, and it runs out, and it's a whole mess. And he gave me like 3 or 4 of them, and I had to pay for them. And the whole time I'm thinking, I'm not using that. I don't want that. I'll write it out before the doctor asked me prior to the examination, do you smoke? No. How much alcohol do you have per day? None. What about the weekends? I don't drink at all. Beer? No. Hard liquor? No. How much wine? I don't drink wine. And he looked at me for a long second and he said, what are you doing here? And I was like, yeah, well, what am I doing? I said, I'm paying a copay so you can tell my wife. Here she is. Will you tell her that I'm not going to die? And he goes, yeah, I can tell her that. He's not going to die. All right, thank you. Let me get you some prescriptions. Oh, crap. Now I'm on the hook. Now I have to buy this stuff and pretend like he gave me these antibiotics that are the biggest pill I've ever taken. Each one looks like an egg that Mork would have arrived in. And I have to shove it down my throat. And it says, take with food. So the first time I ate a little snack and then I took it. It wasn't enough food. This thing ripped my stomach in half. I thought I was going to have a chest burster from Alien pop out. So now I'm like gorging, and then in the middle of the gorge I take the pill. Like I'm trying to fool myself. Like, there goes the pill. That's enough food, right? Have another bite. Oh my God. What have I been reduced to? I don't like taking any pills. None. I took Flintstones chewable vitamins when I was a kid, and even that under protest. I don't like drugs. I don't want them in me. I'm good. I will fight it. Well, Mr. Tucker, this is a virus. You have to fight it with antibiotics. Okay. And because we all take antibiotics at the first sign of something, antibiotics don't do anything anymore because the viruses have gotten stronger. I follow science. I know that the earth is round. Give me a break. So I'm sitting here on the verge. I'm on the verge of coughing the entire show here, and I'll have to spend 3 hours editing out all the coughs just to get this episode up. But hey, you have to suffer for your art. So check out the Theme Park Duo. That's Gabe and Nikki's podcast, Theme Park Duo. They just launched their second season, and I'm the first episode where I walk you through Knott's Berry Farm Ghost Town and give you all the history with lots of writers, and whether I'm right or wrong, because you never know where the information you get is going to be right. It's like Wikipedia, right? But older form of Wikipedia. But it's a great episode. I mean, it's a long episode. We walked all through Ghost Town. You should really check out the Theme Park Duo. It's really cool. And we have big news coming. I can't share it yet, but I will be able to share it soon. You should buy your tickets to WonderCon at the Anaheim Convention Center, March 23, 24, and 25. You should buy a ticket. And if you had to buy a ticket, I would buy it for Sunday. I don't know if that gives you enough information, but you should check that out. WonderCon. I'll have some WonderCon news very soon. So I wasn't sure what to do in this episode today. I was going to continue my 80s remakes, but I thought, I should probably just take a break. Do a really nice, short, succinct episode before my voice gets destroyed. But what do you do an episode about? I could do some movie reviews. I've watched a few movies. During my illness, I wasn't able to watch movies. I was so sick, I couldn't even watch a movie. And that's a damn shame. Because my God-given right on a sick day is to watch a movie, But I couldn't. I couldn't watch a movie. I couldn't do eBay listings. I could simply stare into the void. The darkness, the bleakness. Hello, darkness, my old friend. So I'm going to do a funny episode today. At least I hope it's funny. If you know me, if you listen to this show, you know that social media to me is a necessary evil. I have a podcast, so I like to, market it and promote it to people. And social media is great for that because it's free. 10 years ago, I would have had to buy a website and host the website and update the website. And now I can just have a Facebook page, update the Facebook page with all the information and the show notes and all that. And it's very easy. Now, the social part of social media, I don't get because it's nothing but nastiness on there. Mean-spirited comments. If you don't believe the political views that I believe, I hate you. If you don't support this cause, we hate you. And it's become a bastion of hate. It used to be people posting pictures. Hey, we're at the mall. We're going on vacation. And now it's, did you see what the president did? Or, here in Los Angeles, they did this. And I'm like, I don't enjoy it. It's not fun. I'm not having any fun. Oh, there's a few people. A few of my good friends post fun stuff. I don't follow baseball, but my friend David Carrero posts a lot of Los Angeles Dodger stuff. So, he at least is he's treating social media the way it's supposed to be treated. And I'm not saying you can't have your opinions. Oh, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But again, if you've been listening to this show, you know that last summer, no, excuse me, summer before, 2016, during the presidential election, I begged people, look, just tell me how great your candidate is and sway me that way instead of telling me how awful the other candidate is. Kill them with kindness because it's easy to be negative, And I say that knowing what I'm going to do in this episode. So, what are you going to do? There's no winning. Life. They taught us that you could actually win at the game of life, but then you realize that there's no finish line. They just keep moving it, and goals change, and you really do change as you get older. That's the part that I think I find most fascinating about getting older, is that I am self-aware enough to notice that I've changed. I am set in my ways. I am less tolerant of things. And I'm not talking big things. I am less tolerant of stupid things. There was a point where in the mid-90s, all I listened to was K-Rock. And I looked forward to the next new set of songs. And now, new music, I have retreated into the music I grew up with, and new music bores me to tears. I won't even give it a chance. And I know that's wrong. I know that's wrong. Yet I do it anyways. I do have one rule about trying new things. If I go to a buffet, Las Vegas or even hometown buffet, which is not the best, you should try something new. At least one new dish. There's no risk. You don't have to sit it back. You try it. If you don't like it, you move on. And that's how you can find out if you like new things. It's a really small, simple way. But as I get older, all of the other stuff sort of has been cemented. And it's weird. Growing up, we are mixing who we're going to be. And as we get older, as we cross that 40-year threshold, the mix starts to harden. And who we are becomes more prevalent, and we're less tolerant and less welcoming of new ideas. And that's just how the human machine works. But you don't realize it yourself until you get old, and even then you have to have a little bit of self-awareness to step away and go, oh my God, this is happening to me. And not everybody has that. Hell, not everybody wants it. There are times I don't want it. There are times I'm with Rachel and she'll go, how do you remember that? And I go, I don't know, and I wish I could forget it. Stupid stuff. Somebody was asking me about movies the other day, and I was doing entire pieces of dialogue from a movie I haven't seen in forever, and they were like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know. You ever seen Phenomenon, where John Travolta gets all the information and then he turns out he's dying? Oh, spoiler alert. Well, I hope I don't have a brain cloud like Joe versus the volcano. But I do manage to retain all that information from movies and TV shows and chance encounters, and it's not fun. It doesn't make me, the life of the party. It's a party trick, but it doesn't make me the life of the party, if you understand that. So social media. There's a hidden gem in social media that not a lot of people are aware of. I'm aware of it because during its infancy in 2006 and 2007, when Twitter first came on the scene, YouTube first came on the scene, and Facebook was just becoming a thing, and people were migrating from MySpace to Facebook. Knots didn't know what to do with social media, so they asked me if I would help marketing, and I was happy to help out because I'm a creative guy. And so I was on the early days of social media for the theme park. And it's totally different now because back then there was not a lot of people on it. Yes, there were a lot of people, but not like you think now. Not a lot of people to me is like 6,000. There's only 6,000 people on this page. Well, I can have a conversation with 6,000 people because not everybody's going to engage. But as social media took hold and smartphones really changed everything because you could be on your social media pages instantaneously. And I know this because Rachel's on our Facebook page every waking moment. But as that happened, the numbers grew and they got into the millions. You can't have a conversation with millions of people because it's just noise. You can stop and go, hey kids, hey, let's have a conversation. But it's not going to change anything, not the way it used to. I mean, when I reached out on Twitter one time for food advice, what should we have at the park? Somebody came up with chocolate bacon funnel cake. And then I pitched it, and it became a reality. And that was like the first interactivity that came to fruition. Like, oh, it's a thing now. That thing we talked about online, you can come buy it. And a lot of people came to the park to buy it because they were a part of it. And that was really cool. Like, I felt like, hey, we're part of something here. But again, the numbers were low. But now that the numbers are high, what you get is like, it went from being two guys with brandy, swirling brandy and going, so tell me what you think of the new ride, old chum. Well, I think it's a frothy mix of excitement. Like, now it's just a random rambling person on a bus stop. Does that analogy make sense? We went from, plush interior to everybody's crazy. And you just have to shout into the wind to try to get your opinion heard. And most of the time they won't even hear it. Luna bought a t-shirt from a website that was supposed to be red and it showed up pink. So he contacted them on Twitter with a picture of the shirt. It took them a week to get back to him. And all they said was, give it a good wash. Oh, thanks. Very helpful. We would have done that anyways. But thank you. But here's the thing. If you go on Facebook and you go on the Disneyland Facebook page, they have nearly 18 million followers and people that like them. 18 million. Like, that's a lot of people. That's a small country. That's a lot of people. And one of the hidden gems of the Facebook pages, if you go on the Disneyland page, to the far left, you can see home, posts, videos, about, and near the bottom, it says reviews. And you can click on that and actually see what people have left on the page. It's quite funny. It's like Yelp, but not like with Yelp and TripAdvisor. You have to register on their sites. You have to prove that you're, a good reviewer. There's still a lot of wackos, but there's a few more hurdles to overcome. Facebook, everybody's on Facebook. So this is just part of the Facebook experience. So you could go on there and just spew your venom or your nonsense into the wind and hope somebody is listening. So sit back and we're going to go through the Disneyland, not a lot, just to see what's going on over there. The Disneyland Facebook reviews. Okay, so we're logged in here, and people are pretty nice to Disneyland. I mean, Disneyland's a great place, right? They have 1.1 million 5-star reviews. 112,000 4-star reviews, 56,000 3-star reviews, 30,000 2-star reviews, and 44,000 1-star reviews. So I clicked on most recent just so we can see, what's going on now at the park. And the top one is 3 stars. It was a decent experience. Super ridiculously expensive and crowded. Ridiculously is spelled wrong. But it was a decent experience. Super ridiculously expensive and crowded. Okay, well, there you go. Isn't that nice? Okay, here we go. This one says 5-star review. I love Disneyland and will always love Disneyland no matter the price. We had a blast the past 4 days with family celebrating 4 birthdays. 2 things that's what it says, did get disappointed about was 1, all the construction. Everything was blocked and boarded up, and it definitely took away from the magic. No parades, no fireworks, no view of the castle from Main Street. It was a bit disappointing, but it didn't stop me from going, and it's only temporary. Okay, and number 2, cast members have definitely gone downhill. Oh boy, where are we at here? Maybe everyone is overworked, or Disney standards have lowered. I don't know, but we run into more rude and uncaring cast members than awesome ones. I still give Disney a 5, because the 1 or 2 cast member gems you do find are out of this world amazing. They engage with you. They feel the magic with you. And they try their best to make your experience a treasure. We found one on Sunday night in California Adventure working at Luigi's Dance Thing. Can't remember the new name. She was a peach. Anyways, I really hope Disney sometime soon does some evaluating, because it should be 75-25 in favor of good ones and not the other way around. If I ever took a break from Disney, which I never would, it would be because of the rude cast members. Okay, well, she didn't like the rude cast members and the construction. What's going on here? There's a huge conversation underneath. Is it the same woman? I don't want to say her name. I noticed the cast members were not as friendly this last visit in December as well. Aside from the Jungle Cruise and the train that travels around the park, in California Adventure we had a much better experience with cast members. They were extremely helpful. The one girl who was amazing was in California Adventure. It's so upsetting to me because the cast members make a lot of the magic happen too. If they're miserable, you can tell. There was one guy working Autopia yesterday that was very nice, actually, but otherwise, it's getting harder and harder to find happy cast members. I'm still going to go, though. This guy responds to her, I heard more cast members talking about their personal problems on this trip than in any other time before. Ugh. I depend on the whole experience. Universal has Disneyland beat in that department. Every time we visit, every single cast member there engages you and makes you feel like it is important that you are there. Disneyland cast members used to be like that. I'm still going to go to Disneyland and hope the cast members get better because I love that magical place. So these people, I guess they encountered some rude people or what they considered to be rude, but they're still going to go back. So good for them. All right. This guy writes, 1 star. You suck. If you pay to go to this park, stop being sheep. Prices come down if you stop going. Okay, so he's a fan of the supply and demand model. So he thinks that because we go, we suck. And then if we stop going, they would lower the prices. All right, good for you, sir. This woman says, I love it so much. I'm really thankful that I was invited to tag along to the wonderful adventure of Disneyland. Okay. This woman says, spent the $10 on the Fast Pass Max was totally worth the money and the only way to go. We had a great time and fast passed all the big rides. Okay. This woman says 1 star. The price is out of control. This is for kids of all backgrounds, not just the ones that can afford that steep, overpriced amount. Disney, make it affordable for Californians again. I guess there's some comments here. We had season passes maybe 5 years ago, and it cost me $2,500 a year. The same passes today would be $4,000. They are crazy. Wow, the guy, $2,500 is a lot of money. $4,000? Wow. It's like that line in Jurassic Park. Well, we'll have a coupon day, you know? Okay, this one, 1 star. And I'm going in order. I'm not skipping any except the ones that don't say anything. They just give a star. But this one says 1 star. Disneyland is out of control. Low income children will ever see the gates of Disneyland. I think she meant never. But will ever see the gates of Disneyland unless their parents worked their fingers to the bone and save and save and save and save and sacrifice to take them there at least one time. It is very sad. Also, I am disabled right now and had to be in a wheelchair or an electric cart, and they made me go in normal lines when I was there recently with all of them. And if I could not fit in the line, then I could not go on the ride. I got to go on about 3 rides that I had to wait hours for, and I was very disappointed the money I spent for just those few rides. Oh boy, I need a drink after that. So she's in a wheelchair, and she doesn't want to stand in line. Okay, we've all heard that. When I went to Universal, they took me in a back entrance on every single ride, and I got to go on everything, and they treated me wonderful and love the way they have it set up for disabled people. I will go there from now on instead of Disneyland. Also, there's way too many people for the amount of characters they allow out. When you do see a character, it's only briefly, and the lines to get anywhere near them for a picture is impossible. Disneyland has become nothing but a greedy pot of frustration. I do not like Disneyland anymore at all. Well, she doesn't like Disneyland. She's going to go to Universal. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And there's people there telling her to go to Knott's. Okay. This woman gave 3 stars. We went to Disneyland, the number 2, to Disneyland, because, B-C-U-Z, because it was supposed to be Villain Day. However, the only villains they had out was Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook, Evil Queen, and Dr. Facilier. They could have brought out a lot more characters. However, when you advertise as a Villain Day and only see 4 villains, it's not really quite what you think it is. We did enjoy our time, however. It was very disappointing knowing that I took time and I really wanted to see my villains and only got to see 4. I just think you should not advertise if you're not going to go 110%. And let's just say Disney is not cheap, so it kind of sucks. I have no idea what she's talking about. I've never heard of Villain Day. Do they have a Villain Day? And she saw 4 villains, including Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook, Evil Queen from Snow White, and somebody named Dr. Facilier. I'm not sure who Dr. Facilier is, but he sounds like a villain. That's 4 villains. I don't know. Okay, she wanted more villains. Okay. That one's not in English. I can't want to read that. Okay. 4 stars. Yes, it's expensive. Didn't like that Main Street was larded up, or Splash Mountain was closed, or the crowds were huge, but overall, the place is clean, safe, and positive. Boy, people can't write. It is tough, man. Commas are your friends, folks. Periods are your friend. Fast Pass system might be getting abused when it's another 4 hours before you can come back, or you're a regular standby and the 60 or 65-minute wait is because all they let through is the fart pass people. Okay, I think she meant fast pass, but she wrote fart pass. So apparently the lines at Disneyland are long because this woman's behind the fart pass people. Okay, hey, I would have a problem if the fart pass people were in front of me too. All right, 5 stars. We have passes, and so we come often, have dinner in downtown Disney, but don't stay long hours. We jump on the monorail and then go for a walk in Tomorrowland. We might take the train to New Orleans and watch a show, or take a ride or two and get ice cream on Main Street, visit Mr. Lincoln, and maybe take the train back to Toontown, and that's Tune, Toontown. Must be something with music. Jump back on the monorail and head home. Of course, if I bring my granddaughter, it all changes. We love it. Well, hey, there's a guy having fun. He gets on that monorail and goes to Toontown. Okay, 4 stars. 40 years of family memories make it priceless. Lawsuits from people who are not careful, even with their children, cause expenses to increase as insurance skyrocket. Minimum wage also increased, so the people who work there cannot make you happy if they cannot pay their bills. Increased salaries are needed. It's in the way we look at things. Question mark. This one hurts my head, folks. It's like again, it's somebody sitting at a bus stop and rambling to you, and you go, is this the bus that goes to the beach? And they go, 40 years of family memories make it priceless. But I'm adding a word but there's no but there. Lawsuits from people who are not careful, even with their children, cause expenses to increase as insurance skyrockets. Minimum wage also increased, so the people who work there cannot make you happy if they cannot pay their bills. Increased salaries are needed. It's in the way we look at things. You know what? Never mind, I'll walk. But thank you. Like, that just sounds like the rantings of a crazy person. But that's what Facebook is, man. Facebook, man. Okay, this person gave 1 star. It's way too, T-O, overpriced. Last time I went was like 15 years ago, and the prices have gotten ridiculous. All right, let's look at that again. It's way too overpriced. Last time I went was like 15 years ago, and the prices have gotten ridiculous. There's no punctuation, there's no periods, no commas. I understand what they're saying. I get the gist of it, but man, and I'm not even being grammar police, folks. I'm just saying, if you want your point to come across, you have to like just basic English. And if they have problems with the English language, I apologize, and I totally understand. Because if you asked me to go to a park in France and give a review in French, I would not know how to do it. I'd be out of my. I would politely decline. But these people have gone on here and left this stuff on purpose. All right, 5-star review. See, this person had a great time. Took my 1-year-old yesterday for his birthday. We had an amazing time taking my 3 older ones. Beek in me. Okay, Beek in me. BKNIN, and then May, but it's not capitalized. Okay. 3 stars. Too much construction going on at the same time. I understand the need for change, but we have paid a premium for passes the last 5 years, and I just don't see us renewing once our passes expire. Too much money, and the parks are too crowded. So he's had it. He has had it with the construction and the crowds. All right. This is a 4-star review. Normally, we visit Walt Disney World, but this time we went to Disneyland. We all had a good time, but the family consensus was we would still prefer to go to the Walt Disney World. We were there from February 5th to the 10th and visited each park twice. The last day at the parks, which was on a Friday, was pretty crowded at DCA. As mentioned, there was a lot of construction, which took away from the aesthetics, especially Main Street. I agree with other posters that too much construction between the two parks was happening at the same time. Also, I found the drink to be a little pricey at $4 for a bottle of pop. If I had to choose, I would pick Walt Disney World in a heartbeat, as it allows you to be submerged in the magic for a longer period of time. I also found the food to be good, but not great, which given the price, should be closer to great. Well, there's a guy that prefers Walt Disney World. Well, we'll miss you, sir. All right, this guy lives 3 stars. He leaves 3 stars. I used to love Disneyland, but the prices are too outrageous. It makes it hard to take my grandkids. Too expensive. Okay, here's another 3-star review about Villains Day again. I went for Villains with my best friend. I made us each a shirt to wear that day, and we have have a fun time. But we went to see Villains, but we're not happy when we saw none. We were expecting to see them. Oh, this sentence hurts my head. Let's try it again. This is all one sentence, folks. I went for Villains with my best friend. I made us... No, try it again. I'm sorry. I went for Villains... This is killing me. I went for Villains with my best friend. I made use each a shirt to wear that day, and we have a fun time, but we went to see Villains, but we were not happy when we saw none. We were expecting to see them walking around all day, so disappointed. Not sure when I will be able to go back, since prices keep going up and take time to save the money to go. Forget going with my 2 girls. We wouldn't be able to afford it. Just sad that it had to cost so much to enjoy a day at what's supposed to be a happy place. Oh boy. I don't even know where to begin. Again, if it's a language thing, I apologize, but this is rough, man. So they went for Villains Day and they made shirts, but they didn't see any villains. And now she's not going to take her kids because the villains weren't there when they wanted to see the villains. And this one's rough, man. You have to read this one yourself. You should check this one out for yourself. I went for Villains with my best friend. I made use each a shirt to wear that day, and we have a fun time. But we went to see Villains, but we were not happy when we saw none. We were expecting to see them walking around all day, so disappointed. Not sure when I will be able to go back, since prices keep going up and take time to save the money to go. Forget going with my 2 girls. Maybe it's her friends, not her kids. We wouldn't be able to afford it. Just J-I-S-T, sad that it had to cost so much to enjoy a day at what's supposed to be a happy place. Okay. I got to move on. That it's haunting me. 4 stars. I had a great time yesterday, but finding out the prices went up 18%, I will not be renewing my annual pass. It is way too expensive there already, and raising it again makes it not affordable for anyone but the rich and famous. Very sad, capitalized, for all of the kids that will want to go and will never be able to afford to go. And there's a little question mark at the end. Okay. 1 star. This one says, overpriced, overcrowded, and the characters are always taking a break. Those darn characters, they're always taking a break. They're never out. 5 stars. I love it. Cast members and characters are so nice and awesome. Love the food. Okay, here's a 4-star review. It's Villain Day again. We always have a great time at Disneyland. I went for Villain Day, and to my surprise, no villains to be found. The regulars, Captain Hook and Cruella, were out, but no one else. Other guests even dressed up for the day's events. Talked to a few that were disappointed too. I gotta look up Villain Day and like, what is Villain Day? This woman says, always my happiest place on earth. Well, besides Vegas. 1 star. Your prices are getting out of control. Walt Disney wouldn't allow this. What happened to take your kids to the happiest place on earth? No is the most expensive place on earth. Okay. 3 stars. Let's cross off the happiest place on earth and call it the most crowded place on earth. For the amount of money you spend to get in, they should at least have some sort of a max on how many people can enter. There has to be a way. I can see spending the money because I want great service, safe rides for my kids, and decent food. Also, I get they have to meet wage demands, but damn, I get angry every time I hear the word Disneyland. You cannot enjoy yourself after 2 p.m. there. Okay, so I did some research, and Villains Day is an unofficial day in the park. It started by a Facebook group, Villains Day, Stalk Around the Park. It's unofficial, so you're supposed to like Disney dress up in a costume called Disney Bounding, where you're in a costume but you're not in a costume, but you look like a villain but you're not dressed as a villain. But this is an unofficial day. This is not put on by the park. There's no promise of any villains out. The fact that that woman saw 4, like that's amazing because she was out looking for it. But it's not an official day in the park. Aren't people funny, man? Wow, that's hysterical. So, hey, it just goes to show Facebook is a weird tool because it allows you to connect to people that you thought you jettisoned years ago at graduation, and there they are again. Oh, there's that Facebook meme that's like, oh, a friend request from the people who hated me in high school. Well, I'm sure we'll like each other now that we're older, right? So Facebook is a bastion of people that you disconnected with on purpose that now you're having to connect with accidentally, that the birthday thing, or somebody's birthday. I don't wish people happy birthday anymore. It's not because I don't want to wish them a happy birthday. It's because this is an everyday occurrence on Facebook. And the one day that I decide that I'm going to take a break will be seen as offensive. How come you didn't wish me a happy birthday? Oh, you wish everybody else a happy birthday? Oh, I didn't realize that a digital Facebook message meant that much to you. You're my friend, so if you have a birthday celebration or a dinner, we'll celebrate your birthday. Well, you didn't say happy birthday to me on Facebook. I'm not going to say happy birthday to anybody on Facebook. That way I can't get into trouble. I mean, how silly is that? So now you've got a Facebook group starting a theme park day, and now the guests are upset with the theme park because the unofficial day didn't meet their expectations. Facebook's scary, man. Zuckerberg is scary. So, this show was an experiment. Did it work? I have no idea. I can't really, start screaming at people for their reviews since I work at a theme park. It's not like that. But it's interesting, Maybe I'll look up, do the same episode with Las Vegas resorts. I mean, that might be funny too, right? Because again, with TripAdvisor and Yelp and all those, there's that one level that you have to jump over with to get in there. And a lot of people get in there, don't get me wrong. They love to tell you their opinion. Listen to this show. But Facebook is so easy, so everybody's invited. And I guess the lesson I learned today is check to see that the day's official before you head out to the park, folks. Make your shirts. Do your Disney bounding. That's great. But if you're expecting something from the park, make sure they're even offering it in the first place. Oh my goodness. Hey, we're going to get back to our 80s remakes and finish out the decade very soon. There are Patreon episodes. I'm so sorry that I have not gotten to those. Michael Bondi is perpetually getting apologies from me. At least now I can blame it on having the flu, right? How long is that going to last? Well, I've been coughing through this episode, but I'm going to edit them out so you won't hear them because they're offensive and terrible. If I could just shake this cough, I'd be fine. So, thanks for tuning in to this episode. It's a weird one. It's, is it a filler episode? I don't know. I had fun doing it, so it's not like it was a complete waste of time. I've never left a review. How about that? I've never left a review on a website. I don't remember ever doing that. That's not something that's just not in me. I don't care. You know? I assume that the company doesn't care. And once I make that assumption, it makes my life easier. You know, I've complained in real life when something's wrong, but just a general, here's how my day at the event went. That's not me. You know, I would do it here on the podcast because then you can hear my voice. You can tell when I'm being sarcastic or when I'm being serious because it's all in the tone. But there's none of that on Facebook. You know, there's none of that. It's just bland writing. So, hey, I am Jeff Tucker. I am the voice. Thanks for tuning into this weird episode. Check out my new book on Amazon.com, Your Friend in Time, How Back to the Future Changed My Life. It's available for $10.88 on Amazon. And to that end, you should join us at WonderCon, and I'll announce what that is very soon. So thanks for checking out. Also check out our other podcast that I do, the Gemmer Collector Cast. It's available on all major podcast platforms. Gemmer, Gemr, Collector Cast. That's a lot of fun. It's all about collecting stuff. What is there left to say except this show is 91 Reasons. Boy, that was terrible.
Thanks for listening to 91 Reasons. Please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. Find us on Facebook. Is anyone even still listening?